Secrets.
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 Don't make friends.
But you know what does make friends? Playing Dungeons and Dragons. Booyah!
Boom.
Okay, well let's hop right into those secrets.
Why is that thing 6 feet tall? It should be 2 feet tall.
Yeah, current time, it's night, day 42 of 1379. Carolina, last you were with us, we were in the hallway in Thunderscript Castle, and you were all talking to the courier and making plans about stuff. But you had disappearing disease, and as usual, you have no idea where you've gone during disappearing disease. But disappearing disease brings you back to your friends, and you are hit with the stench of rust, decay, dust. Through the dim light from flickering crystals set like LED walls, you can see you're surrounded by rotting chairs that are in front of cracked and faded buttons and dials. Before you is a huge wall of multiple feet thick glass that's covered in algae to windows looking at nothing but blackness. Pale is here, and with a woman in a brown jumpsuit who looks somewhere between a goblin and Githyanki. You are in the command center of the ship in the Avengers, if that ship existed in the Fallout universe, and unfortunately Nick Fury is nowhere to be seen.
Hell, what the fuck?
It wasn't my fault. It was Bastion's. He did too good a job.
So, what the fuck is this, pal? Hey,
So...
And the woman of an unknown species jumps as you pop into existence, and as Bastion pops out of existence. You saw a single second of him, Carolina, as you traded places.
hey. Okay, I'm starting to think we're the same person.
So...
And I draw my weapon.
Wait. So this is Carolina. Carolina knows she's a friend. She's from Universe Alpha. This ship travels between dimensions, universes, something. I think her universe might have been eaten by the maw already. Sorry, I don't know. We're going to take her back to August's lab because, obviously, things got a little screwy when you were away. I'm going to be real with you.
So, you made a new friend.
Yes.
The maw is already eating things.
15 universes? Yeah.
So, the maw is not something that we cause.
We're not sure. We at least know that it's still coming, but it's already eaten 15 universes, 3 of which might be kind of vibing with it, though.
So if it's already eating, is it possible for it to be any of the ideas that we thought it was?
Well, you see, that's a great question that Bastion and I were hoping to talk to you about, and potentially the courier, and then he disappeared, you appeared, and we're still here.
Where is here exactly?
Telavir, where are we?
Yeah, Telavir blinks her big black eyes and looks a really uncertain expression on her. Her face is pretty expressive with her mouth being so large, but she says, okay, can you do the spell on her where she can understand me, or is that like a one-off? And Carolina, this woman is speaking a language you've never heard.
Okay.
Oh wait, was that one of my spells?
Is this an animal friend, Pale?
No, she's from a different dimension. She's essentially a goblin orc mixture thing. Species, not thing.
It looks like a toad.
She's just a tall goblin.
That's a hobgoblin. I don't know what this is.
It's she's confusing. We're still parsing a lot of things out.
You know what? Did you understand her?
Yeah. I forget.
You used tongues last time.
Oh yeah, so I'm just gonna recast that on Carolina so she can understand.
Okay.
Boopity boop.
And still a little apprehensive of you, Telavir goes, hi, I'm Warrant Officer Telavir, from Dimension Alpha.
It's so much better than what I was hearing. All the clicking and noises that were that was something. The warrant officer, I'll show respect for the rank.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Are
she's
you a
just a little
champion
guy.
also? They said that they were.
I don't like to brag, but yeah.
Okay, that was alarming at first. I'm a biologist, so seeing all of you with wings, I was like, wow, you guys have evolved. You said you were taking me somewhere, Pale?
So we were going to bring you to another, he's not really a champion, but he's like super smart and a genius, and he mixes magic and science, and he's tied for the smartest person in this realm with Bastion, our friend who just disappeared. Do you guys have disappearing disease where you came from?
I was about to ask, is that normal for you?
Because the Maw, normal, in quotes, yes.
Okay. No, that does not happen in my dimension.
Yeah, here people
there
essentially...
is every now and then when we're traversing the weave, we'll lose people, unfortunately, but...
The weave?
The weave is what we call the space between dimensions.
No, with this, it's essentially, we believe, we're not positive yet, that the Maw kind of partially, temporarily pulls people away or they disappear into it. Sort of vortex where time and space don't fully exist?
She stares at the wall for a long time and goes, we missed that on our scans of your dimension? That must be a new development and a terrifying one.
It's horrifying once we realize what it was.
That's... okay. And you see
How
that
long have you
she's...
been scanning?
Been here for 5,000 years.
I've been unconscious. The last I was conscious when we were leaving into weave space. We all have to be awake during it, and then afterwards we go into stasis until they wake us up in shifts. So there's always a crew for maintenance and discovery, and then as things happen to those people, or if they, you can heal in the pods also. And so we just trade out. Everyone may be awake for about 6 months at a time and then go back into stasis on a rotation. So I didn't even know that we got to this dimension, or knew that we'd exited hyperspace, but, or weave space, I'm sorry.
Hyperweave space.
Hypersleep when you get out of weave space. Yes, it's a lot. And as I said, I'm a biologist. I'm not the right person to explain it to you, unfortunately.
I thought getting wings was complicated.
He looks around the rusted nightmare of a ship and goes, yeah.
Anyway, don't let me intrude on whatever your plan was. I will sit here and take notes. Leave. I've got there. And disappearing disease does not have anything to do with the Maw. Okay.
Well, we're not sure yet. I think. God, I wish Bastion were here. Yeah, Bastion's kind of the brains of our operation. I'm kind of the muscle, and Caroline is the speed and danger and sleeps with angels, but that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
And I'm the looks.
And Mr. Bastion talked about he was the champion of your creator god. What are you the champions of? Like, we don't have champions in my dimension. They don't. The religions don't have mortal figureheads of any sort, well, other than just the church. But and you can see that when you talk about taking notes, Carolina, she's not even looking at the screen, but she's using one hand to type behind her onto some terminal. Which, to you, it looks like a typewriter with somebody casting minor illusion on a piece of glass. She's typing in a language that you can't understand, but if you focus on the screen, it turns into common.
It turns into what?
Common.
Huh.
And you might even realize, Pale, that the directional signs when you entered the ship, being that Televir doesn't speak common, you don't know why the labels on buttons and doors and everything read in common for you.
That's disquieting.
What is?
that were able to read that, even though, because tongues is speech, right? So isn't that weird?
Oh, Tulliver nods. She goes, "Oh, the ship has a universal translator on all written materials."
It can just do that?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Carolina, take it away. What god do you represent?
Oh, our Phoenix god Vivian. A representing rebirth and righteous rebellion.
She kind of squints and thinks back, and she goes, "We have a goddess by the name of Valor, who's, I mean, you could call it rebirth. Are you? No, they have necromancy on this plane. It was interesting. I wouldn't take you for the type, but okay.
Not exactly
not.
necromancy.
Yeah.
More like reincarnation versus reanimation.
Yeah, and we didn't have you didn't have a god of that before. Though our dimension had a startup one. There might be a fully god now, but you realize that she thinks that you're a follower of Vecna. Or her dimension's version of Vecna.
Awkward.
Okay.
And what I represent really isn't important.
She gives a sort of awkward pause.
There are two gods that reset every universe, if you're aware of this or not. The dimensions are cyclical. There are two gods that end and restart. Bastion is the restart and creator god. I am the other half.
Okay. So the god of the apocalypse. We have one of those too. Their name is Securime. Interesting.
Yes. Cool.
I've never met a Securime follower that didn't murder anyone they met on site. That's interesting.
We have
No offense.
reformed our god. He is actually taken on a piece of another god so that he is more humane and more human. I am actually helping to reform his church. We are currently in pursuit of a more permanent afterlife. The current
She was
one
on board until you said more permanent afterlife, and she's like, but
our
not
afterlife
against
I was going to ask if she.
burns out.
I was going to ask if she knew what humane and human were.
Oh yeah. Do you know what I mean when I say human and humane?
they have humans on my dimension. I understand that I have a convergent evolution, sort of. You have goblins on your space, although culturally and I would say temperament and average intelligence, Goblin are much further along than your goblins. But we do have humans. I'm sure there are differences that I'd love to study. There are. She motions to Carolina. There are people who look exactly like you in my dimension, and we also have fire gensai. So
yeah, I was gonna say crossbreeds hopefully exist where you are, and actually know a sect of goblins that are sort of on their path to that evolution, working with humans to make a more secure area. So I should introduce you all sometime, unless that's racist, in which case I'm so sorry.
No, it's like I said, Goblin are much more even-tempered than most.
Well, I still don't want to.
I would say
rude.
even races in my dimension. That's the reason why we travel so much. And she motions around to the. It's not just Goblin on this ship, but mostly.
Well,
was,
now it
I guess.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, we try to do our best. There are some parts of this dimension that are horrific. So,
As
yeah.
with every other.
Oh, you'll see.
Okay. So, you know what? You have humans. Do you have phoenixes?
Can you describe it to me?
A firebird that, when it's its time to die, first into flames, and then into ash, and then be reborn.
Okay. Yeah, we do. That's their. She starts to describe how she sees them. They're sort of a gem green and blue, and then we call them virtuals, but
That is my god.
Okay.
Not a literal bird, though, just the idea.
That makes sense. And she keeps typing while looking at you guys, but then, you know, she cannot stop taking notes.
She thinks it represents. Oh, God.
Oh, and just so you're aware, certain gods have been sealed away here. Certain gods are kind of uncouth to talk about, and we are currently about to go to war with the sun. So just a heads up, things are a little weird in this dimension. You'll get more info once we bring you to a safe space.
War with the sun.
Yes.
It's complicated.
Like
the god of the sun, but he is the sun within itself. Okay. So
it's when I asked you if you were primitive earlier, and you said yes. I was a little worried you meant the actual sun.
No, the god of the sun, because he is currently backing an evil emperor to ascend to godhood, to essentially have two gods at the price of one, and that evil emperor runs a brutal, violent dictatorship in which people are tortured, and so much worse.
She slowly nods and goes, primitive, right?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah. Sorry, was that rude? I'm so sorry. Maybe the
No, you're fine.
I didn't mean it like that. Sorry. That's. I'm not really a personable. I'm not really a personable person.
People consistently mistake me for a different race. It's fine.
And Goblin tend to be very literal. My apologies. But
and we unlocked the autistic goblins. Bailey, take that out. I think. Unless I can get an autistic person to co-sign that statement.
Listen, it's every autistic person I know would have laughed. But but that's not.
Get one of them to sign off on it.
Right? Yeah, I'll ask.
And
I'll ask one of my coworkers. Yeah.
Perfect.
So do you? Now this is an odd question. Are talking of gods that may be different, and she seems to rub her thumbnails in like almost making the okay symbol. It says, have you ever heard of the Starfinder?
The Starfinder?
A Monitor? That's not the sun god you're going against, right?
No, Pelor, who is the sun itself.
Okay.
Can you describe what a Monitor, the Sunfinder, represents?
They're the god of, it's mostly keeping the gods out of, in their lane. I would say they're more of the sheriff of the gods.
The closest we have to that would be Tyr, but even still, his version of justice, I worshipped him once. He was the god of justice itself. It falls askew, and he follows a more law as written justice, not justice as to the person.
And the Monitor is also, I would say, the progress and society.
We do not have that.
Like the monitor?
The what?
It's like a monitor that you watch to make sure everything's going as it's supposed to.
Yeah, or if we believe, in the, I hesitate to call it my religion. He actually disdains worship because he believes it distracts from affairs that mean more. Even though it's hard to break the habit, I guess.
I wish we had a god like that.
Yeah, it's once mortal, so that's why I was asking if you had them yet. I don't know if they're cross. They exist in Dimension Delta as well, but not. Not any others.
We have a young man who we're going to take you to his kingdom. He is a king. His name is King Henry. He is one half of an equation to make a god. He is effectively an atheist, but hold a general disdain for the gods and their consistent interference. He and the evil emperor are the two halves of a split soul to create a god. If the evil emperor were to be dominant in that, then Pelor would have an unceasing ally who would essentially be able to rule everything. If King Henry were to be dominant, that's what he would likely be. So maybe it comes down to that balance.
You see her look a little faint, and she says, a Monitor is typically described as having two halves. Progress in society, and I don't know if dominance is the translating word that I'm looking for, but he doesn't discriminate on your alignment. That typically takes a different form based on your alignment. And she looks back to her notes that she typed without looking. She goes, King Henry, you said?
Yes.
And
he is good.
And Emperor Claudius.
Yes.
I've not heard those names, but that's... I don't know if I'm saying it correctly either, but terrifying might be the same.
It is terrifying. Yeah.
So is a Monitor a really bad thing?
No, it's like I said, he's two persons essentially,
or literally.
A father or mother of a family might pray to a Monitor for their kids to get along. A people of a city might pray that their walls hold against warring nomads or something. It's us, the people who travel to different dimensions to see if they're ready for technological advances. I personally, though, as I said, he isn't fond of worship. I do pray. Okay. I don't know if I'm afraid or excited.
Both. It'd probably be both. This is a universe where we are young, but things are on the cusp of happening.
It's typically much easier to go to dimensions that are more similar to yours, which is why we came here. But there are certainly things that are different. It's... especially timeline-wise.
Yeah.
And what I meant earlier asking of your gods, are you capable of healing magic? Because it's just occurred to me, as my specialty is biology, I'm not inoculated to any diseases that you have.
Yep, I'm a cleric, which means I do fighty spells and healing spells.
Okay. For that aspect, at least, then I'm glad to travel with you, because I believe that I will catch every disease that your dimension has.
I might be able to help with that. I don't know how, but we are smart people.
In stasis, it's you're not allowed to change dimensions if you have a latent disease within you. So I should not spread anything to you all. That is a big concern during first contact, is who's going to get who sick. Secondly, you said that you're taking me to a man of science,
yes.
Especially if they're quite possibly friends with still mortal Monitor, which that may be completely different. I may have just, coincidences and all. Some dimensions don't even have him as a god, and I definitely don't have ones that you do, and anyway, vice versa. Are they ready to hear that there are other dimensions? Because in some instances, it would be better to leave me here and forget that I exist.
The
and I know
man
that
of science
sounds
is.
He is? Okay.
He is. I make no promises for anyone else.
We just went through a whole time travel fiasco, so...
Oh, yeah, we do have accidental magic-based time travel.
That's common. What I'm getting at is, imagine you've spoken pretty gravely about your world. We typically only fully contact worlds. Our definition of ready is that once alternate dimensions presences are known, is the majority of your world's leaders' first thought going to be invading other dimensions for resources? Because if it is, they should not know that I exist.
Not at this point.
Okay. Are you sure?
No.
Okay. Because as soon as a god of a person, let's say the god of war, hears about other dimensions' existences, would they immediately want to go take our technology and use it for destruction on your planet? Because advances go both ways and can easily lead to regression.
Want to? Possibly. Will they? Or will they even have the chance? Absolutely not.
So there is enough people on your planet that are for world peace, essentially?
Yes, and the person we're bringing you to is that global force. The only place he wants to go, the only people he wants to fight, are those who oppress others. His whole thing is create peace, create safety for all.
And again, I mean, no offense, and I'm not a people person, but...
Please feel free to offend.
Okay. That's usually why people say they're going to war, regardless if that's the actual reason.
Oh, absolutely.
She's right.
War's a racket.
And honestly, it's a good thing that the ship is crippled. Because there are, like I said, there's a group called the Panderers who encourage peoples that aren't ready to advance into dimensional travel, because the advances of others usually make us more advanced once we learn about them, and so they're trying to gain their own power by giving everyone else. It's a whole thing. But Bailey forgot where she was going with that.
That we won't just use violence to overtake.
Okay. I'm going to have her... you make a persuasion check. Carolina, you can help if you like.
Persuasion, that's a +1. Oh, shit, that's a dirty 20.
Oh, wow.
Am I rolling too?
Yeah, if you want.
17.
Okay. Let me roll something for her really quick. She still looks very apprehensive and says, would it be possible to take me only to this person of science that you were talking about in a secret manner?
Yep. He has a secret pocket dimension.
Okay. Because I believe if I'm the only person of my species on this dimension, I would be recognizable easily. We do have devices, though. I don't know if any of them are still working.
Yeah. So one thing I need is just for you to trust me on the spells I'm going to cast. We're going to be teleported to a city, and then I'm going to essentially cast a thing that will turn us into wind, and we will float to that place after I contact him. I need you to trust me on it, because if you do not trust me, the spells will not work.
Okay, but before we do that, I'd like to gather some things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and she's going to stand up. And it's still a little wobbly-legged from atrophy and everything, but she does some more stuff on the computer and then starts to walk to the armory. And are you guys going to follow her or stay in this bridge?
I'm going to ask her if she wants us to follow or stay.
She did not tell you not to. She's fine either way.
I'm just going to hang back. Pale's too trepidatious.
I start walking.
Alright. Yeah, you follow her to these decrepit, rusty tunnels, pipes on every wall, some of them look like cracked and everything. The lights flicker in this ancient ship. And she goes to down a hallway to the armory, and goes to open it, and it's locked. And she addresses the ship's computer of... Computer, I thought we were an abandoned ship protocol. Why is everything locked? And the computer replies to her of standing captain's orders. Armory to remain closed. And she just looks frustrated at the door that's like 3 feet thick. And she's like, computer, give me clearance. The ship's empty. And she has a long conversation with the computer. I'm going to have her make a persuasion check.
I was going to say 2 questions.
Yeah.
What do you need out of the armor? I mean, why do you need to get in the armory? And if you really need to get into the armory, I can get into it for you.
Well, mainly what I've been going after was She describes to you a hat of disguise, but in her world, it's a bracelet. And then, of course, weapons. And she motions to a what looks like a small pistol on her hip. She's like, I'd like to bring more than just this with me. No offense, again.
None taken. I'm just being cautious, too.
No, that's fine. I don't know if you can get in this door. Because it was designed to keep out every scientist and security person from opening it if the captain didn't want it opened.
Is
You're
there
welcome
a
to
keyhole
try.
or a lock?
It is a big, flat door with a handle. From what you can see now, you can make an investigation check if you like.
I will make an investigation check. 23.
Okay. You can see that through like a slot in the door, there are where the, I would say, weatherproofing has rotted away. There are bolts holding this door into the wall, but you don't see any way to turn them. And they're
They're waiting.
probably 4-inch thick, like, vault door bolts into the wall and into the door.
Okay.
From this little slit you can see.
Is there a magic security system on this?
Make an Arcana check. Unless you're asking Tilapir.
I was asking her.
Okay. She says there are enchantments on this. Typically it'd be override with just the computer. Maybe your friend Bastion could convince it to open, but she means hacking it. But she says, honestly, if you were to try to manually hack it open, it would probably take you hours. Even being a champion of your god. Which you're welcome to try, but maybe we'll do it later. That's annoying, but okay.
I would like to try to just pull the door open.
Okay, by the handle?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to be making an athletics check, I guess?
Sure. Oh, that's annoying. A 32.
A 32, you pull and pull and pull, and the handle breaks off in your hand. And the door is unmoved.
Can I see through it?
You can see to where the, where the handle mounts in, but it's solid steel far back beyond where the handle is mounted.
So the other side of the handle didn't fall off.
No, it was only one side.
And it's not a hole all the way through.
No, it's not like a door. Like this is like a bank vault, but there's no turny wheel on it. It's just a door and a door handle, and now just a door.
I try to produce my echo on the other side of it.
Can you produce it into a place that you can't see?
No.
Okay. It doesn't work. And Televir shrugs at you of maybe we'll get this open when Bastion talked about doing a lot of work on it to get it moving. And it's going to need a lot of work to get it moving. But maybe later. And she would shrug and then go to the
The acting captain is Carolina.
Yeah.
What?
Said ask for the acting captain.
I believe the ship's computer said, let me go to my logs to see what I wrote down. So the last captain was supposed to have been Terwin Mistsplitter, which
What do they
that
look
was...
like?
What?
What do they look like?
Who, Captain Terwin? I've never actually...
Yeah.
They were one of the shift captains. I don't think I've ever actually met them. It would have been in passing if it was.
Does your little typey thing pull up pictures?
You know, that's an important point of we could just read the captain's log. And she runs to another computer, back to the bridge where you are, Pale, and kind of trips on the staircase. Whoops. She's going to run to the computer, and go, mumbling to herself, I'm worrying about what's happening to the ship and where we were, and I could have just read the fucking captain's logs. Just angry at herself a little bit. But you guys go to the last captain's log, which was written, I don't know, 1,000 years ago. So this ship was wrecked for 4,000 years under the ocean after they sent a distress signal and no one answered them, but they kept having skeleton crew shifts to keep the engines running and keep people like Tulliver, who'd been in stasis, alive. And apparently Tulliver's the only one left. And apparently something did happen to the captain, but she reads the captain's logs, and the most recent log is incoherent, and the Tulliver would make a note about how this is not the format that it's in. This is just like somebody opened a notepad. It's not like usually it's a whole header and like the stats about the ship would be in the front, but this seems like a very impromptu sort of a deal. And Captain oh god, I've already lost his name. It's in a different... Why didn't I? Oh god. Oh fuck.
Captain insert name here.
Captain Mistsplitter. Yeah, his Captain Mistsplitter's last log was, I'm going to break the comms. I'm going to cancel the distress signal. Howard put Stuart down when he was feet from the door, and I had to pull her away from the door myself after. We're cracking. We aren't going to last much longer. I can hear it whispering to me as I'm writing this. I've backspaced and written over it, trying to force me to write, let me in, let me in, let me in this log over and over. It's taken me 20 minutes. We can't take this. We can't take it. We can't escape. The last thing I can do is keep it from copying my voice and leading the others from Alpha here. If the rescue team doesn't have an ETA, and it's already taken them 4,000 years, Starfinder forbid they breach our airlock for survivors and only get taken by that thing. Starfinder forbid that it leads 100 ships here, using our voices to say this dimension's ready. We aren't getting back, but with my last breath in this godforsaken tub's bowels, it won't spread from this world to any other. By my last breath, its cousins won't learn that other worlds exist. Our only hope is that someone in stasis outlives this monster and powers the distress signal back up again. I hope that it can die. Forgive me, Starfinder. Bring me back in death, even if my body never makes it home. All I ask is that your greatness reaches this far. This may be my last log. Captain Mistsplitter.
Oh, shit.
And Tulliver looks horrified, naturally.
So, yeah, we do have some evil things here, but the only thing I can think of is the maw. But what
Kraken.
would be here?
Kraken.
You said Kraken? The Kraken's not that dangerous, so I'm sure you guys have giant evil squids.
And Tulliver's barely listening to you as she keeps typing and keeps typing and keeps typing. She would tell you that as you guys keep reading logs further and further back, there's apparently some creature that discovered them several years into their distress signal waiting period of they don't know why it's taking this long. They've been rotating out to preserve their lifetimes of going through 5,000 or 4,000 years of just rotating shifts when this ship was meant to last maybe 300 years. So it's a fucking miracle that it's lasted this long, of everything slowly decaying and just the overwhelming sense of dread. And then from somewhere, the 10 or so people that would take turns running the ship, as a couple of these teams even got so old they died of old age, waiting to keep the distress signal running and all the pods running, is they heard a whisper in their dreams of some creature telling them to open the door. And they kept resisting, but eventually, apparently to Captain Mistsplitter, they were starting to crack. And so he broke everything to keep it in, like, containment, I guess. And this was, in fact, his last log. But you read the journals of someone going slowly insane.
And we have no
On a
idea what
decaying
this
boat.
thing was.
So no voice logs and no pictures.
This is bad. This
Tulliver
is kinda
does
my worst
find
nightmare.
a picture. She finds an old bearded dwarven man. and shows you that was apparently Captain Mistsplitter.
Do we know where his body is?
I turn into it.
Don't do that.
She finds that unnerving.
Give me the poor gal a panic attack.
Maybe the computer's sensors are out. We can see. Yeah, I mean, when this ship was new, I'd say that never worked in 1,000 years. But maybe now that this ship has experienced 5,000 years, it's 2,000 years past its expiration date. And this, usually these ships are meant to last several missions. But anyway, as it dawns on her that everyone she knows is dead again, but she looks away from you. What was the other question y'all had? I forgot already.
Do we know where his body is?
Oh. She would typey. One of you roll me a D100.
Carolina, you take it.
100. 49.
Because I'm not pulling up, she explains that would wear, like, wristwatches, essentially, that would have, their codes on it for the computer to recognize them. Because I'm not pulling up Captain Mistsplitter's, but there is one of the engineers, I mean, I'm assuming at least his wrist, down in the aether fuel cells, which if they were leaking, I do not know why he'd be down there. Unless it was getting worse.
Ditch effort.
What?
Last ditch effort to try to fix something?
I'm going to turn to her and say, do you know if Captain Mistsplitter was religious?
I mean...
Or just that one god you had already talked about?
He seems to talk about Starfinder, or, his formal name, Amaunator.
I'm glad you said Starfinder, because I was getting ready to say it's not.
Starkiller?
I'm going to kind of look at Carolina and say, do you think that if someone dies here, they go to an afterlife here? And if so, knowing what we know now, do you think we'd still have to contact him through Henry?
Wait,
That'd be an easy way to find out if, Yeah, Carolina wasn't there for that conversation either.
Oh,
She was there for a theoretical, but not to confirm.
Yeah, all atheist souls go into the Ethereum shard. Yeah,
so let's attack them through the Ethereum shard, and we don't know where it is. I mean, we do know where it is.
Well, we know where it is, and maybe if we try to talk to its holder, that deity, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we could talk to Captain Mistsplitter.
How does that work? Without alarming anybody?
It doesn't.
Yeah, I will say, if who you believe is the man who becomes Starfinder, if he doesn't know that he's going to be a god yet, this isn't really a time travel mess up here, but I don't want it, like I said, I don't want to affect your system here.
We don't want it to either.
It's our whole deal is to not interfere.
It's a little late for that. It's also a good thing to interfere because dimensions are being eaten and put into eternal torment, except for 3 for some reason, and we don't know why 3 of them are fine.
True. Well, it's been 5,000 years of a distress signal going unanswered, with roughly 2,000 souls on board. They've sent rescue missions across dimensions for 5 souls. So I don't know why they haven't come for us, and comms are broken, apparently on purpose.
So you said that the computer is computational, not magic? That this thing?
For the most part, yes. It needs to
bring me to the
survive
armory room?
What?
Can you bring me to the armory room? The door?
Yeah, we can all go back and then try Carolina's disguise.
No, don't worry about it. I got this. And I'm just gonna say, like, computer voice about this door. You there?
Door is locked on last captain's orders. Overriding abandoned ship protocol.
I'm gonna cast command, first level, and just say open.
The door is not conscious.
I was hoping the computer was.
No,
Dang.
it's not. It's not a Forgeborn.
It's like the thing in Futurama. You can't bend that. I know that. You know that. But that door looks really stupid. Maybe if I cast it at a higher level.
A lot of our stuff is analog because the weave space would really mess with it.
Yeah.
I tell the computer to override. Captain's override.
Make a deception check.
Oh, can I help with this? I don't know how.
You can cast guidance if you wanted to.
Yep, take a d4.
Yeah. Can I get a reroll?
What'd you roll?
Natural what?
No. One of you roll me a D100.
I'll roll it. I did.
Yep.
40.
Okay. Then Carolina, make me a perception check. I know you're the only one who's probably going to be able to do this.
Yeah. Perception. That is a 28.
A 28. This ship is roughly 3 kilometers long. And probably 30 or 40 stories. So this ship is massive if you laid every slice of it out. I don't know what the square footage of that is, but this ship is massive. It's bigger than any other boat that's ever existed in real life.
The ship's the size of 2 cities.
Yes. And from somewhere far deep in this massive ship, you hear movement. An echo of something heavy on metal. And only you hear it.
What's this person's name?
Tulvir. Tullaveir.
Tulvir.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure there's nothing else alive here besides us?
No, when I did a status report, it said 3 souls on board. Although, God help us, the biology department has been... I mean, everything should be dead in there for an abandoned ship protocol, but, she has a horrified thought. What if they did let in whatever they were talking about?
What if it doesn't have a soul?
Something is moving. And it happened right after I gave that command.
He knocks on the armory door. Computer? I can't explain how much we need to open this door. And the computer still says, access denied. Last captain, over it. Yeah.
I try again, the captain override.
Okay, make another deception check.
Okay. Still got guidance on me, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Oh my god. Where's the D4? Not gonna be good enough, but it's kind of fucking one.
Hey, you never know.
Oh, it's not gonna be good enough, but I don't know. That is 12.
Nope.
Hey, Bailey.
Access denied. Yeah.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Before I waste a spell slot.
Uh-huh.
Is another dimension another plane?
Televir would explain to you that there are other planes within other dimensions. Like, her dimension also has planes, but to her knowledge, it does not count. They've not been able to plane shift to other dimensions as of yet.
Not plane shift, necessarily. I want to try something with you. You will be safe. It is a spell that specifically denotes that if you are sent away, it's a banishment spell.
You're trying to banish me? Okay.
Let me explain. It's you are sent to a harmless demiplane or where you're native to. If I can send you back, it would be for 1 minute.
Wasn't her place destroyed by the mob?
We don't know yet. But even if it was, she'd still come back.
I might come back as a corpse.
No, because I can do it for as long as I'm able to hold my concentration. If Carolina punches me and I don't hold my concentration on a spell, or if I just intentionally drop it, 3 seconds. Do you trust me for 3 seconds?
Mr. Pale, from a dimension that's different than mine, I trust you. I don't trust wherever you'd be sending me.
Hopefully home. At least for a short period, just to see if it works.
I would love to put on a pressure suit before we do that.
Whatever works for you.
Because, take it from me, you will not survive weave space for even, I don't know, 0.3 seconds?
Oh.
It's not in the armory, is it?
No, that'd be in one of the airlocks.
As you guys are figuring that out, I'm looking around for air vents or anything to be an alternate route in this room.
There are certainly air vents. There are pipes of all shapes and sizes. There's only one pipe that you figure a medium creature could fit through, and that looks to be a coolant pipe of some sort.
Probably hot stuff. Okay.
Make me another perception check.
Perception. 13. Oh, E4. 16.
I guess you don't hear it this time. I guess, Pale, now that you're aware that it exists, you'd be able to hear it too. If you made a perception check.
Oh. What is my perception? So +2?
To Carolina's absurd perception's the only reason I let her roll early.
Well, I mean,
you're a freak.
Yes, I am, and I can see the 300 feet in the dark.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and use a bonus action and pass that on to these two.
Pass what on?
My vision for an hour.
Oh, that's the thing you can do?
Yes.
That's fun.
I have dark vision, but it's all red.
Now you're 300 feet.
Neat.
What was your roll, Pale?
4.
Okay. No, you don't hear anything either. Just the ambiance of the ancient ship.
Weird.
But Telever would say, can you not do that yet? Please.
Yeah, I just wanted to pitch the idea to you.
Maybe later, after we get comms on to see if you've implied that something terrible has happened to my entire dimension, and I'd like to see if that's true first.
Possibly.
Because you could be
15.
sending me to absolute nothingness. And that won't be good for my physical form.
Yeah, it's
and
not
you realize she's not being sarcastic as she's saying this. That's just how she's talking to you.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not a plane of nothingness. It's a plane of torture. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
Don't send me there, please.
Yep. Like I said, it's totally up to you.
And you'll have to explain to me the thing about whatever, because this ship runs on aether, which is the. She explains background radiation is the aether fuel they use to jump between dimensions. They have to charge that up in like reservoirs at Dimension Alpha, but the energy that it uses to move up and down between a singular plane, it can't plane shift, by the way, is it can only go to the main plane of whatever dimension, or other dimensions. So it can only go to material planes, for example. Or like if there was a weird dimension where the main plane was the Feywild or something, it'd be that. And so, so it can move up and down and side to side and through the water or whatever with latent background energy that it absorbs over a period of time. And so it's effectively infinite singular planar travel, but the dimensional fuel, they have to use 2 of it. So they could get out of this dimension, but they wouldn't be able to enter another, is what she explains. Because there's a fuel leak. That's why they'd be trapped in the weave forever, which is not good for you.
No.
Nope. I mean, we manage ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know
Even
if that
then, we don't know
works.
if it works.
Yeah. I forgot
Do
how
we
I
still
got
have
on
the
that.
box?
The what?
We do.
Oh, yeah.
But that box is planar, not
So we could plane
dimensional.
shift in this dimension, but we wouldn't be able to exit this dimension without
Yeah.
an Aether Punch.
Right.
For now.
But for us, we can plane shift and then we can manage our time.
To just escape? Yes. But
Yes. Okay, so there is an out.
I was going to kind of
Alright.
lean over to Carolina. Ashton has the box, but I can get us back to my sanctuary, so don't worry about it.
Okay, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We still have it out. It's fine.
Yes, still have it out. Okay. Still disturbing.
my question is, do we want to go figure out whatever creature destroyed the ship? Or not destroyed the ship, but apparently killed all my other crew members?
Yes.
Or do we want to leave to wherever you're going?
I think we go to find that creature, and then we can get out of here. But yeah, so I say we go find the thing.
And then immediately leave through magical means that you have?
Yes.
Okay.
How fast are you?
On my feet?
Do you have
running?
other means of travel?
I would say I do. I do. So she explains to you that Warrant Officer Tulliver of Dimension Alpha, is a level 10 Horizon Walker Ranger with a biologist background. So she can, like, Misty Step and stuff. I would say she's a good hunter, so she can kill things to dissect them. So when she's fighting, she can step between space. She says to you, I can move without moving, if that makes sense.
Okay, good. That is good to know. You can also be sneaky, apparently.
Yeah. Though I don't know how good of a fighter I'm going to be, because, I've been asleep for 4,000 years, 5,000 years. She kind of walks a little bit and, like, trembles. She's like, although if we're fighting for our lives, I'm sure I can get over it.
Yeah.
So
Can you
hopefully...
pull up your little Palm Pilot?
What?
Can you pull up your little Palm Pilot thing to type?
I don't have one, but all the terminals are connected. It's any room we have a terminal that connects to the other ones.
Alright, let's go to the nearest terminal.
Okay. Yeah, she would have walked into the crew quarters. That's what I was saying she was doing. Yeah, she would have walked to the crew quarters and gone to find, like, more food. Because she had rations in her, like, stasis pod, but she's still hungry. And so she cracks open a tin of peaches and starts eating it with a fork as she's typing on the computer. What do you want to know?
Yeah, Captain's log. Captain Bill, whatever his name is.
Captain Missplitter?
Yes, Captain Missplitter's last entry. Passing off captain's duties to what's her name?
Tulliver.
Tulliver.
Oh, so you're trying to make it where to trick the computer into making her the captain?
Yes.
Okay. Make me a deception check.
A little guidance, Mr. Pale?
Yep. Take it. D4.
Okay. That's better. That is a 19 plus a D4. 20.
Okay. Finally, you're at a different computer. You're not at the armory computer anymore. You are able to... Even your disguise helps, because the computer knows everyone on board. And it would have still been confused with the, Captain Missplitter's been gone a long time, you imagine. But finally, the abandoned ship protocol is overridden as somebody takes a new log. And so the ship knows that it's manned again. You see on the corner of the screen Tulliver's credentials update. and the abandoned ship protocol notification turns off. It is at this point that the rumbling in the deep gets much louder as the lights in this building, the lights in the ship turn on more. You're no longer in power save mode as abandoned ship protocol slowly turns off. Here in the crew quarters, the lights on the other stasis pods turn on and blink out as that's apparently part of the crew is back protocol, is that something happens to the stasis pods, but she was the only one in there. There are several dead bodies. I don't think you were in this part of the ship before earlier, Carolina, but a lot of lights and a lot of machines turn on all at once, and Televir starts typing a lot more as she's getting it to back into power save mode, as it's probably not a good idea to turn everything on just yet. But the rumbling in the deep is where all three of you can hear it easily without anything happening. And Televir takes one last bite of 4,000-year-old peaches and says, "To the armory!"
Yeah, I was going to say, my passive perception is a 27.
Yeah, okay, you've been able to hear it the whole time. Just kidding. There is more rumbling in the deep. A lot, as, generators turn on everywhere. You get a rush of stale air as the pipes in whatever turn on, dust everywhere. But Televir puts it back into power save mode and then starts running to the armory doors again. I have
turn it off.
Yeah. Just shh. And there's several blinking alarms on the computer of critical systems errors. This is stuff that you already knew, but it's now that the ship knows that there's somebody on board. It goes, "Hey, problems."
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. But you run back to the armory, and Televir commands it to open, and it's a lot. There could be gallons of WD-40, and this fucking door would still be rusty. Just the biggest creak you've ever fucking heard. It's deafening. But the door opens, and there is a pneumatic hiss as this room's been packed with some sort of air that's not oxygen, so this stuff doesn't rust. And it's beautiful, I'll just say. You haven't been to the Thunderscram Armory, but this room is, as fighters, that this room is beautiful. And I haven't typed up what this stuff is, so I can't copy and paste it. However, immediately Televir runs to what looks like a mannequin, or it's armor on hooks, you can tell. It's not armor that you've really ever seen before. The closest your characters would see, it's somewhere along the lines of breastplate, but while it's really solid, and you can see Televir's not a super strong person, but she throws it on easily as though it's almost weightless. You don't know what the hell this is made of, but she immediately starts opening lockers, and then takes what looks like a big rifle off the wall, and then what look like squares about the size as apples, and she starts tucking them into pockets on this armor vest that she has. And she motions to y'all, and she would hand you... where'd it go? She's like, "Do you guys have grenades on your planet? Please tell me you have grenades on your planet." Not
Yes,
planet.
we do.
Keep saying planet, not to mention. She hands each of you 5 of a grenade. It looks about the same. So these are suction grenades. They're usually used for non-lethal combat. If you throw them and they're within 10 feet, they get smacked to wherever this landed on the floor. It makes them prone and restrained. Also, are you guys good at range combat?
Yes, I am at least. I'm good at all combat. It's kind of my thing.
I'm decent at ranged. I prefer to be up close and personal.
You're
Okay.
up close and personal. That's, yeah.
She hands you, pulling it off the wall. It's probably a machete-sized weapon. You realize Darian would know this. Carolina doesn't know this. She's handed you an electric chainsaw.
Ooh.
And I don't have the stats for it in front of me. Because they're all written in my terrible chicken scratch, and I will copy and paste them to you soon. I will tell you, it's not going to be as good as the weapons you have already, but it is fun.
Yeah. Plus, we can get the others to backwards engineer it. Give
and you
Hale
could
Junior a chainsaw hand.
Yeah, it's these are going to be fun weapons for your minions to absolutely wreck shop. But you guys who have champion weapons, it's probably not going to be much of an upgrade for you, unfortunately.
Okay, so my question is, when you ask ranged combat, is it strength-based ranged combat or dexterity?
She looks to you. Your average build, even though you're much stronger than you look. She says, "How strong are you?"
Much stronger than I.
1 to 20.
You saw me rip the door handle off, right?
She nods and points a finger, and then opens a big black case. Inside, imagine a big barrel made of steel, and on this barrel are long rifle pipes, about 8 of them. And next to this is cases and cases, and she pulls out more of those little fist-sized box things, and starts plugging them into all the way around this. She goes, "We call this a Gatling laser. This one I do have stats for." It's 2d8 force.
He's gonna lose it.
Oh yeah. No, it's 2d8. This is essentially a belt gun, except for it has a much wider range, and you can choose how wide the cone is. So it has the capabilities to shoot 180 degrees, or you could shoot a area of 30 degrees 6 times. And I have to make a dex save each time you rock the laser back and forth. But this weapon weighs 200 pounds. Congratulations.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. Okay. And it
I'll
only
probably
shoots...
give it to Bastion later.
Yeah. Well, you guys can loot this entire armory. There's like multiple of each of these weapons. It's, again, this is a large building. This large room, I should say. I'm trying to think of a room that everyone would know about that would be...
The Matrix Armory?
I don't remember how big that is.
It's
as big as they want it to be?
Yeah.
I would say the Matrix room where all the chairs are, they plug into your neck. It's such a weirdly specific... It's a 40 by 40 room full of weapons, all right?
Yep.
And Telliver would make a note that probably, because she had her own like smaller hand weapons in her pod with her, of every other pod probably also has some form of loot in there. Also people's personal storage of people who are awake. Anyway, to you, Pale, she offers you, the pistol she has right now is a blaster. So you can use a bonus action to make it more accurate. And then you could also use a bonus action to change it to non-lethal damage. Or you could try to hit 2 targets at once, but it's a attack bonus lower. Then also there's a pulse rifle, which is the same as like a sniper rifle, but a bit more damage. And if you crit, there's a 1 in 5 chance to blow off a limb or head.
Oh, damn. I cannot wait to give these to Garfield and Gorefield.
Oh yeah, no, Garfield's gonna take one look at this ship, all the things on it, and then just come his brains out. That's, I'll be so real with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
What's the armor look like?
You and I would see it as, it's like...
Black.
It's essentially flak, yeah. Modern combat armor. She'd tell you it's made of carbon fiber, though Carolina has no idea what that is.
Is it stronger than this? And I'll just find some random armor and take light cutter to it real quick.
Yeah, you take a piece. Light cutter hits it, and the slashing damage works, but the fire and radiant damage doesn't do nearly as much as you would think it does. Tulliver would explain to you that energy it reduces energy damage like fire and force. Poison is still the same. It blocks radiant a bit too, but not necrotic. It's any sort of hot energy. So lightning, fire, radiant. She motions to you of their, these weapons they use do force damage. Because it's, sci-fi lasers.
Okay. The
She
Star
says
Wars thing.
Says there are other weapons in here, but you guys need training to use them. So,
Fair enough.
you guys want to make a history check?
Yeah.
History.
Please be good. Please be good. I'll take it. That's an 11.
Okay.
That's a 13.
Okay. Yeah, you guys. There are a lot of very, very foreign weapons in here.
Guidance fail.
Say that much. Yeah,
Oh.
if you want.
Yeah, I'll guide into Carolina. What'd you get?
That'd be a 15.
Yeah, I'm gonna guidance her.
Okay. Is 15 after guidance?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember, there's a weapon that you've seen Henry only use once or twice. He calls
Is
it
it the
a
lightsaber?
beam. It's the lightsaber, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to say, fucking lightsaber.
Says, well, you need training to be able to use a couple of these.
I've seen it in action.
That's not the same. Wait, you've seen weapons? You've seen a beam blade before? They have those here?
Yes.
The guy who's one half of a Minotaur, he has one.
Well, if there was anybody able to use one, it would be him. Okay, you're making a case for the guy every day.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. Because that means Carolina.
Do you have Danes?
Carolina,
Dane?
we might be able to speak to King Henry who ascended. We might be able to find out how he's able to balance it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, a Minotaur, he's not the Maw. And Pale just like all the
Do you have
tension in
Danes
Pale's
where you're
body.
from?
Go on.
What's a Dane?
Okay, that answers the question. Danes are the ones that use those.
Oh, these are a historic weapon. Honestly, it's people who, she explains to you they do have the exact same concept as Danes, but they call it something else. Dane is just the idea as balance as a force of nature, like gravity. It's the stronger you are, the stronger your enemies will be. But they do have that, and King Henry does, through accidentally meditating too much, have the power that some of those people have. And then also when a Minotaur was... Yeah, well, he was having trouble sleeping because whenever he fell asleep, he'd start to die because he's kept alive by will alone. And so August was like, here, there's this book that these monks use to meditate, so they don't have to sleep. They just kind of meditate like elves do. And Henry's like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then he thought about it too hard, and apparently because he has the Ethereum shard, he got way too strong, way too fast. And whenever he had a panic attack or something, that like a telekinesis would just start happening around him. And so he practiced using it so he wouldn't accidentally break stuff whenever he was angry at something. And he's able to use a beam blade that the Dane were having a war of balance of sorts, like a civil war within their, the Sith Jedi war, basically. And they sheltered some of Dane worshippers in Thunderscrim for a while as like refugees or what have you, and they left them a beam blade as thanks. So it's just been in the vault for 1 billion years. And as Henry's been too weak to swing a sword, August also had the idea of, hey, you could just use this. And so King Henry has been using that.
Do they have a black one?
A what?
A black beam blade?
She looks through. Roll a D100.
I guess I'm on here now. I can actually roll.
Yeah.
D100. Shit, my first roll was better.
Huh?
34.
They do not. She
on D&D and Beyond, I rolled a 55.
she doesn't know what color any of them are. Says you need to have the meditation skills to make it even open, so I'd have no idea.
I would like to try one.
Okay. I believe you've tried to touch King Henry's beam blade before. She would tell you that it's not powered by mechanical means. It's you think about making it work, and then it works. You could try to make a some sort of make a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. My wisdom save is a what? Oh. Okay, yeah, custom item added. Thank you. 10 minutes later.
Mm.
Wisdom save. Did it roll? What happened?
Yep.
I'd say 19.
A 19. As you hold this strange tube with buttons and smaller tubes on the side, there is a tiny glass window inside that flickers green for just a second, but then turns back off.
I would like to try again.
Okay.
Pale? A little inspiration?
And while you're doing this, I will say that rumbling noise is getting a little louder. And you hear smaller rumbling noises with your absurd perception, Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I would really like this weapon to work this time. Oh, no. I just went to a different page. Okay.
Oh. You can roll in whatever you need to. I trust you.
Yeah, I rolled
I'm like
12
Charlotte.
Unlike Charlotte. No, it was not Charlotte.
No, I
It
know.
was,
No, I remember.
a different player.
I was here.
That I was.
Who will
You
go
were here.
unnamed. Yeah,
Different
TBT.
player that I was suspicious of.
Suspicious. He never rolled below an 18.
Yeah. Yeah, he got like 6 nat 20s in a row one time, I think.
Yep.
And I mean, like, on the one hand, if you're passionate enough about something to cheat, then whatever. But also, it's funny when you, like, it's not that serious, you know?
Well,
Right.
it's like, we were like
Half
level 2. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, half the fun is, failure.
Right. And
All right,
working it
before you
out.
strike down the mall and save the entire multiverse, roll for your last attempt to save everything. That's a nat 1.
Natural one.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, I didn't get it to work this time. I will, however, put it in my quiver.
Okay. Yeah, Televere shrugs. Oh yeah, you do the Luke thing and put it in your eye and it turns on. Yeah. I thought I thought about that. If you got a natural 1, it would turn on and slice your hand off, but that'd be too mean.
Nah.
Does there happen to be a double-bladed one?
Roll D100.
50.
You don't see one, but again, you probably don't know what you're looking for.
I pick up whatever looks like one.
Okay. Yeah, you find one that has a longer handle. They're all pretty unique. Everything else seems mass-produced, but these seem pretty unique.
Short handle lightsaber and a long handle lightsaber. Worst comes to worst, if I ever get to learn how to use it and it's not a double-bladed one, I have 2.
Yeah, duct tape them together. It's fine. That won't go poorly at all.
That'll be fine.
Yeah. But what do you guys do then, as the sense of impending doom draws closer around you?
Yeah, rumbling's getting closer, guys.
Well, let's go get it.
So we're just gonna peek and then run away, right? Probably. Televere says.
Is there a helmet?
He said, "Is there a helmet?"
Yeah.
She's put one on. Yeah.
Yeah, the carbon fiber helmet thing.
Mm-hmm. Do you want one?
Yeah. And if I could get some like bracers or something, I don't know.
Yeah, she'd throw you different pieces.
Yeah.
It's because you have whatever amulet against force damage and magic missile. It's roughly the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you could switch out if you. I don't know what other enchantments you have on the armor you're already wearing, but if you wore this armor, it's about the same as having the brooch of shielding on.
Okay, so the brooch of shielding, I'm resistant to force damage. I'm immune to magic missile. And because of my ascension, I'm immune to radiant, resistant to fire.
Uh-huh.
Which you said any other form of resistance to fire would make me immune. Yeah, that's it.
Uh-huh.
But you said this does lightning too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I need to make out more stats of these. I didn't intend for you to raid the armory today. I don't know why.
Never
Of course,
expect things of us.
Of course, that's something you do. But I haven't made everything that's in here. I only made a couple of things. And then when you guys were trying multiple times, I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to just be like, no, you can't get in. That's, But I will come up with more exact things that this does.
Can we off-screen some rated stuff for Bastion?
What do you mean?
Like just to grab some shit we think Bastion would like.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are... You're going to be in this boat for a long time. It's Bastion's intention, last we heard, was to just take it back to Thunderscrim once they get able to move. So you will have plenty of time to explore every inch of this boat.
Except for the fact that something is coming towards us.
Except for the fact that there is something kind of angry at you, yeah.
Allegedly.
Roll a D100, anybody. All of you.
I got it.
All?
Oh, it was crazy.
She said all of both of us.
Crazy? I was crazy once.
They put me in a room.
A rubber room.
A rubber room with rats.
The rats made me crazy.
Rats made me crazy. I got a 62.
Crazy?
The next 20 minutes was them doing this on repeat. It was removed in post.
Televere goes to the door and starts pointing the longer rifle out of it. Or she has the blaster set on the advanced targeting system, but she's taking the door, posting up and hiding for whatever's coming. Okay. You reckon it's getting close, or?
I will exit the room and fly up. What'd you say the range was on this laser Gatling gun?
60 feet away, but in a either 180 degrees. Okay, let me read it. 2d8 force, dex save 15. Use an action to shoot everything within 180 degrees, or repeatedly pass over an area a number of times, divided by 30 to a minimum of 30 for a maximum of 6 times. Targets must make a new dex save for each pass. Infinite ammo, however, recharge takes 60 seconds. So you can do this once a minute and then have to wait for it to cool down to do it again. But that's a big one round for whenever you use this thing.
So it'll shoot 6 times in one round?
It will shoot... You can spin 180 degrees.
30.
Yeah. But so you could also do 90 degrees, but only, I think that's 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times.
So 180 or a divisible by 30 other,
Okay. I will find a perch high enough that I think is high enough, but not too far from my battle buddies.
You are in what is essentially a submarine. These are thin hallways with rooms in the middle. The room you're currently in is about a 30-foot square, and there's hallways going in 4 directions.
How high is the ceiling?
Roughly 9 feet.
Oh. I was thinking with the size of it, I could go up.
The room, the armory is bigger. Because there's crates of stuff in the ceiling, but the hallway is pretty small.
Never mind then. I will.
So you're not in the room. You're not in the room where the creepy crawlies are. Maybe that room's bigger, because whatever it is sounds pretty big.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I want to go wherever that might be coming from, or at least to get a look at it.
Okay. Pale, are you down with descending to wherever the bumps are coming from?
Yeah. And I'm just going to have MM and my shield out. It's all right, let's go.
Okay. You hear the beeps and bumps coming from this room. It's where Tulliver would know the engine room is, and this is where the aether leak is. So you don't taste metal, but it feels like you should be tasting metal. Just the kind of the vibes you're getting. Let me copy and paste your minis over here.
Dealt with that before.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And you do have the tool to fix it. But you...
Yeah, but we did kill the person that fixed it the last time.
Well, no, your sword does it now. Light cutter can cure radiation. Poisoning. But as you enter this hallway, and that is a good point of we should not start this fight because it's going to be a big one. If you choose to fight it, you could also just bounce. But from within this room, you see roughly 10 creatures stuck to the wall. They are horrible tentacle aberrations. It looks like a nightmare just the worst hentai imaginable. Some sick freak made these things. And below the surface of this water that's probably not good for you, there is something large and glowing with the same color. These smaller horrors look almost humanoid. Though they look aquatic, some of them have wings, like leathery wings. They have a billion eyes. One of them has an eye the size of a basketball. One of them is just covered in tiny, almost, those horrible starfish that have 5 billion legs? Like that. But you guys want to make me a either nature or history check.
I think I will go nature.
Both of them are +2 for me, and that's a 9.
Yeah,
That's
it
terrible.
doesn't matter which one I go. They're both a -1. That's a 10.
Oh, wait, take a guidance from me. Add a D4.
12.
Nice.
So the highest is 12?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you're not sure what this is, but it is a large, awful, tentacled, squid-like creature, not a kraken. But you see in the veins of its wet, slimy skin, and there's a lot of slime on this thing, like a lot of slime, a terrible, awful amount of slime. The blood in its skin vein pulses with green light as though it's been feeding off this aether leak. You reckon this...
This is why we don't taste metal.
Yeah, and you reckon this room is not usually flooded? Probably a cooler flooded this room to keep the aether leak from melting through the hole. There's also no breaches to the outside because the pressure would have exploded the entire ship if there was a breach in the hull. So this is probably a mechanical leak of some sort is why this room is flooded. But it is 60 feet from these catwalks to the roof. The engine here is what's being held up by these chains, and these glass rod deals are what's holding the aether fuel. And these are red emergency lights, by the way. And Telavir, it screams in panic, and we'll cut there.
Nice. Oh, that's horrifying, Bailey.
Yippee! Glad I could do
Oh,
it for
hey, you guys are ready to deal with an interdimensional universe-eating demon? Sure. What about some creepy fucking tentacle radiation monsters? No, I don't want to touch those. Those are scary.
Well, see, the dimension-eating being's far away. This is very close to you. Very, very close to you.
Within tentacle range, you could even say.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh, sick. Thanks, Bailey.
Thanks.
Darian, thank you for not seducing the goblin.
Yet.
What?
Yet.
What did you say?
Thank you for not seducing the goblin yet.
No, I just can't wait for, you bring her to whatever room Ash is in, and he leans into your shoulder and goes, wood. And...
Yeah. Ash. I already called dib.
Alright, if you call dibs, fine. But when she rejects you... I'm recently divorced.
Ash, you don't have wood anymore.
I've got the wood that matters, don't you worry.
Bailey, keep that in.
Were the secrets worth the suspense, Darian?
Yeah, I wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
It was had no idea we were in a different fucking. Are we in a different dimension?
No, you're in the ship that can go dimensions. You're very, very far under the ocean.
Okay.
It's when King James, they went to the hospital, or you can listen to episode 141 now.
Okay.
But they went to the hospital to talk to Henry's doctors, and King James happened to be there donating blood. And so King James told them that, hey, I did give King Henry the Ethereum shard. Also, it holds the souls of all people who didn't want to go to the astral plane, didn't want to go to heaven. They just wanted to go to a void when they died. And so, you remember when you guys were fighting the mimics and Pale banished himself somewhere? And it was a sheet of black glass? So that's the Ethereum shard inside King Henry. And King Henry doesn't know, but King James wants you to tell Henry when he's ready, because you guys are his friends, and you'll know when the right time to tell him is. And so then they had the idea of, King James has already told you that alternate dimensions exist, so Bastion was like, can I pray to alternate dimension Gond? And then he got a 35 on a religion check with a nat 20. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. They tell you where the boat that... Because Gond has been spoon-feeding him little prophecies about this ship. And then, so he's been wanting to make the floating city to build a Forgeborn in. So I'm like, well, the fucking ship Gond told you about is essentially that. You know what? Fuck it. Because you weren't supposed to find out about this for another, 6 levels. But I'm like, you know what? 37, you find it early. Congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought my 32 was big.
What would you roll a 32 for?
A strength check?
Oh, right. To tear off the door? Yeah. It's...
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I got the high numbers when it didn't matter.
Right, yeah. And it's, I was trying to be like, man, I know they want to go to the armory, because of course they do. But I haven't written what's in there yet. But you know what? Fuck it. Fine. They find it. I don't want to be like, no, you can't get in there. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, your character wanted to go to the armory. Once it became the armory, it was like,
true.
Okay. So what's in here?
That was me fucking up, huh? Yeah. Whoops.
It's like,
Telebear's fun.
Yeah, I was hoping when you said I ripped the door handle off, I was like, oh, let me be able to see through it.
No, it's,
because I would have just teleported to the other side to open the door.
No, I meant for her to go to it and then, be like, oh, it's closed, and then leave. I don't know. Yeah, that was a goof up on my part for the first
that would have happened if Carolina wouldn't have followed.
Yeah,
but
true.
But Carolina, just meeting this person, not fully trusting this person, says she's going to the armory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta keep eyes on you.
And she meant to just go find a hat of disguise because you guys were leaving. But then you came with her. And I was like, well, shit, I can't open it in front of Carolina. Oh, well, yeah, no. Whatever.
Yeah, I was going to give... when she said, I got to change the way I look, I was actually going to take off my tattoo and give it to her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But now you found the monster. Yay!
Yep, found the monster. Did the monster see us?
You imagine it probably doesn't need to. Being as it was
dark
talking.
In this room?
No, the emergency lights are on.
Oh, yeah. No, didn't she turn them off?
Yeah, there's still the power saver lights, though.
Oh, yeah, power saver lights. So they're dim lights, though.
Yeah.
So there's areas of darkness.
There are, yeah. And it's this room goes down another 60 feet also, but it's underwater from the coolant leak.
So it's under coolant.
Oh, it's water, like when you put water in the radiator. It's not coolant. But yeah.
It was hot water.
Probably very Aether's probably not good for you, whatever it is. The latent background energy of the universe.
Not at all. Have you seen Thor: The Dark World? Worst Marvel movie?
What happens in it?
I already know the answer to that question. Yeah, so one of the Infinity Stones is the Aether.
Oh.
It's the red reality stone.
Oh, I have seen that. It was years ago, though.
Yeah.
It gets into his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, which Ethereum, Aether, maybe it's the same.
Yeah. Not not a not the best thing to have inside of you.
Nah. And you don't taste metal. But, you know. Which you didn't taste metal with the other, like when you were exposed to bare soul stones, but it was still, it felt like radiation poisoning, even though it wasn't radiation poisoning.
Oh.
Because Aether's different than uranium, so.
Oh yeah.
Is
Okay.
it
Are we playing
actually-
John's game?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard from him, but I'm down to play.
I know. I'm down to play. I know Wes is down to play. He's been begging to play.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's one of us can text him.
Yeah, he always does that to me though. He's like, text John and see if he wants to play. I'm like, you have your phone in your
Yeah,
hand.
why don't you text John? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll hopefully see you.
Yeah.
And welcome back to Texas.
Yeah, well, I'm not in Texas right now. I'm still,
well,
unfortunately,
well.
in New Mexico. But
Welcome back to not doing army things.
yes.
Hey, it's your GM, Bailey Ford. I would like to thank our regular players, Darian, Matt, and Ian, Hip for our cover art, and Tabletop Audio for our background music. You can find us on Twitter at @Illithids, and thank you especially for listening.